Hi friends, I am here today with my coffee and my clingy puppy who we just picked up from my parents, so she is not going to let me have any peace. But I wanted to do a really quick intro video to what I hope will be a series of videos talking about my yarn stash. Now, I'm not trying to do any kind of stash down or anything like that. I'm not trying to get my stash to 0. I'm not trying to get my stash to a certain number. I'm not trying to work through a certain number of yards, which I know a lot of people are doing lately. My goals are more visual for myself than number. So I don't have a current actual attainable physical goal. I more just have a picture in my head of how I would like my stash organized, and I want to work towards getting to that. So if you watched the yarn closet reorganization video that I did, you will know that I have a total of 229 yarn things. So that is, that's not counting scraps of projects past. So that is all mini skeins, full skeins, 50-gram skeins, yarn that I've already caked up, commercial yarn. It's also including yarn that I have kind of put aside as yarn that I would like to either donate or sell or use for gifts or things like that. So total 229 things. And really I only have that number for my own enjoyment. I like to know it's not any kind of like I have more yarn than you or I have less yarn than you, so I'm doing better. It's just, I think it's fun to take a look at the stats of the yarn that I have. So, my goals, let's talk about them really quickly. Basically, what I have down here is I have fabric for sewing things, and I have my big box store yarn, or commercial yarn. So, down here I have, oh, I'm stuck, there we go. I have my fabric on the bottom shelf, and then over in this dark corner over here, I just have a little bit of overflow of my big box store yarn, which is what I have up on the top shelf. So my goal for this is to just get my commercial yarn to fit nicely on this top shelf and not be jammed in there so that I can't see it. I would like to make sure that all of it is visible and nothing gets hidden and lost, but basically I just need to get this little section down here to fit up there. And I think I can do that pretty easily. I have a plan for maybe 4 of these skeins down here that I'll be casting on maybe this weekend. So I don't think it'll be too hard to get things condensed, but yeah, that's the goal for down here. And now let's move up a little bit. Okay, I have to squat so that you can see me and the yarn, but basically over here I have this one little bin that is down here on my shelf with all my books and notions, and I would like to be able to get this combined up onto the shelf that I have the majority of my yarn on. And basically, let's see, over here I have minis, and I have a bunch of other yarn that I have caked up that's just tossed into this bin. And so I would like to get this to just be minis. So then I would like to get this condensed and basically just I don't know. It's very vague, but I really just want less yarn up here. I would like it to be able to breathe more. I have this whole section of yarn tucked back in the corner here that is all yarn that I have project plans for or design ideas for, and I really think this is a time for me to start digging into that, to really take a look at the projects that have been on my mind and do them. So hopefully I can get this like big stack at least, you know, maybe decreased by half or so. Again, just visually, not even numerically. I want to push myself to stop putting off the things that I really want to do. So that's a goal for this shelf. I mean, it's really like super vague and nothing concrete, but I just want this to breathe a little bit more. I want to be able to look at my yarn and feel inspired by it instead of cluttered by it. I have gotten a lot of it under control, and I do love where my stash is at right now. It's not a problem, but it feels a little bit more crowded than I would like it to be, and so I would like to get a little bit of breathing room in here. And then the last thing that I will mention is up on this top shelf. I'm not going to bother to readjust the camera and show you. It is in my yarn closet organization if you want to see it, but I basically have a bunch of blanket yarn up here, and then I have one basket that is full of yarn that I either plan to pass along to others or sell, or it is yarn that I have set aside as yarn that would be great for gifts. So usually it's yarn that's like washable or easier to pass along to others as gifts because they won't have to worry so much about the care of it. So that bin is up there for when I feel like, I don't know, cranking a hat on my knitting machine or something like that. So the yarn up on the top shelf, yes, it is counted in my totals, but I'm not really counting it in my aesthetic goals for this closet. It's just up there. Yeah, I would like it to be less, but whatever. It'll happen when it happens. That stuff is really just when I feel the need to make something for someone else, or if, you know, a baby comes into the world and I need to make a gift for them, something like that. So that doesn't really count. My main goals are my like big, mostly hand-dyed yarn shelf. I want to get this to breathe. I want to, you know, push myself to work on some of the projects that I've been dreaming about. And on my, in my cabinet underneath, which I'm realizing you can't see anymore, but I want to get my commercial yarn to all fit on one shelf. So I have a little bit more breathing room for my fabric and my sewing stuff. And maybe I can dive a little bit more into that journey as well. So how am I going to be tracking this? I have started working on a database for yarn tracking, and I will gladly be sharing it with the world when it is done. I have currently been working on building it in Notion, but I will also be recreating it in probably like Google Sheets, something like that, so that you can come along with me if you would like to and do your own stash analysis, whether your goals are to hit a certain number or you just want to be able to know what you have and where it is. I know Ravelry has these features, and I know there are a few apps out there that are either new or in development, but I'm just working with what works for me and making something that I'll happily share because maybe it'll work for you too. So I would say that the database in Notion is maybe like 90% done. I have to figure out a few more dependencies and how I would like to have things connected. And then really I just need to test it and make sure that everything works the way that I want it to. And then I'll have to build a whole spreadsheet in Google Sheets, but once I know what I want, it shouldn't be as hard as building it from the ground up. I do have a like 2 versions. One is more basic, where you can just, it's basically like totals, right? You put in your starting total, and then you can put in your in and out every month, and it'll calculate it for you. And then I have a more advanced one that I've been working on, which I've been kind of like, it kind of snowballed and I got a little bit carried away with it, but I've been having a lot of fun, where you can put in the weight and the fiber content, the yardage, any of that kind of stuff. And then I've also started a tracker for projects so that you can connect your yarn to the project, and you can see how much yardage you have remaining after it's been used in a certain project. Or, you know, if you're wanting to do a 5-skein shawl and you want them to all be 80-20 merino nylon, you can look for that fiber content and see what you have. So anyway, do you like to track your stash? How do you like to track your stash? Is there something that you'd like to see in this tracker? Is there something that you'd like to see in my stash journey? I definitely want to do a few videos for this, and I will be doing a few check-ins, but is there something that you'd like to see? Do you want me to do challenges to see what I can do? Do you care at all? It's okay if you don't. I know stashing down is kind of a big trend lately, and I'm not really fitting into any of those journeys that other people are on. I think it's really fun and encouraging to see other people working through it, but I also think that your stash should make you happy, so do whatever you want with it, because if you have 1 skein or 1,000 skeins, if it brings you joy, that's all that really matters. So, that being said, this is hopefully a fun start to a new journey for me as I try to get this to be something that I love to look at every single day. And I hope you enjoy coming along. Let me know if you have any ideas for me. And that's all I got. Take care of you. See you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, friends. What are you doing? Goof. I love you. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Thank you.